This is a HeadGum podcast.
Celebrity Book Club.
Hey Club Kids, producer Meg here. On this week's episode of Celebrity Book Club, we're digging deep into the episode vault and sharing a very special piece of CBC history. The first ever recorded episode of the podcast where Stephen and Lily discuss Burnt Toast and Other Philosophies of Life by Teri Hatcher. Travel back in time with us to the old world, before COVID recording protocols, the suits and their fancy audio gear, and long before Stephen and Lily graced the pages of Rolling Stone. We hope you enjoy this little piece of herstory. Best.
Who's that knocking at the door? It's all your friends, you filthy whore. Your husband's gone and we've got books and a bottle of wine to kill. It's Hollywood. It's books. It's gossip. I'm shook. It's memoirs. It's martinis. It's Studio 54. It's Celebrity Book Club. Come read it while it's hot. Celebrity Book Club. Tell your secrets, we won't talk. Celebrity Book Club. No boys are allowed. Celebrity Book Club. Say it loud and proud. Celebrity Book Club.
Buzz me in, I brought the Cuervo.
Podcast vibes. Hello, you salty bitch.
You dirty, dirty, dirty slag.
You nasty bird. You're the most winged bird I've ever seen.
I remember one time Ryman Auditorium.
1961.
I haven't seen a dirtier slag since the one I slept with then.
This
back
slag
room,
walked in.
right before we went on.
The longest peckers. The widest talons.
Her
Softest feathers.
Her gams went on forever.
I mean, talk about pins. Those were pins. Those were pins you could set your watch to. Back when you had to set a watch.
When men used to carry watches.
When they used to have a pocket watch. I mean, is there anything more
and
elegant?
they were on time for things.
Absolutely.
Because they had a watch.
Because they had a watch and they had respect.
For time.
And for
women.
The family.
Children, women, God, state, city, town, province, country.
Township.
And civil courts.
And we have lost the place of municipal affairs in our home life and in our sexuality. Hey, best friend.
Hey, you stupid best friend.
Hey, you literally dumb bitch. I'm absolutely obsessed with you. Welcome to my studio.
We are in Steven's new apartment, and it's fucking gorge in here. I just want to say congrats.
Thank you. I did have a podcast studio built. That was one of the things I was looking for when I did go ahead and find a realtor. I said, number one, railroad.
And
number two, podcast studio.
It looks like a real garage in here.
It's super, super garage vibes.
All the vintage guitars.
The tin ceiling is imported.
All these kind of empty records just for props here.
Hey,
okay.
Are you trying to call me like not legitimately punk or something? I feel like
I would never say that. I just wonder, like, can you name like all 5 members of the Ramones?
Okay, well, there was Ramon.
Naturally.
There was Stephanie
Ramone, Jess Ramone,
Jan,
Becca Ramone.
And then Jen K. Ramone.
Done. All of them.
Jan and Jen K. So thanks for coming. I wanted to sort of dive right in and talk about...
Yeah, we should get to it.
Kind of the subj, which was a really, really important book that in many ways set the tone for our...
lives, personalities?
Careers. Sexualities.
Religious views.
Interior design sense.
Financial planning.
Geographic tendencies.
We're going to be talking about one of my favorite actresses.
One of my favorite books, Burnt Toast by Teri Hatcher.
The Teri Hatcher, you know her from Lois and Clark. You know her from Desperate Housewives.
It's funny because I feel like she's one of those actresses where you're like, I know that I know her, but...
Where?
Because it's like everyone knows she was on Desperate Housewives, and everyone knew that she was famous going into Desperate Housewives.
But no one knew why.
Like, but why? And like growing up, I knew her from Tomorrow Never Dies, which is a James Bond film.
Oh, because you're a Bond head.
I'm kind of a Bond
Miss
head.
Bond girl.
Yeah, I'm kind of a 00 file, and she's quite fun in that.
I bet she is. is.
She's super glam. She actually does go ahead and get murdered in a hotel room in Hamburg, which top five dreams of how I want to go.
Which Bond movie is it?
It's going to go ahead and be the one with the media mogul where there's like a fake kind of Rupert Murdoch character. It's
Is
Pierce
that
Brosnan.
Tomorrow Never Dies? I love Pierce.
And
He's my favorite Bond.
The Cheryl theme song, Tomorrow Never Dies. Ugh. Which was part of a string of really, really incredible Bond theme songs. And then the garbage one, World Is Not Enough, was kind of random. But then and then Sam Smith came through and ruined
it all. But I feel like that brings to the first point of of course, Teri was in the Bond movie with a Cheryl theme song.
Yes. And so in the sort of canon of people who are eternally in their 40s and divorced,
who are always packing up a station wagon convertible Cherokee,
yes,
to go on a trip with their girlfriends, or their girlfriends are picking them up,
yes,
outside of their soon-to-be ex's house.
Yes, and there's always a big glass of red and boxes being labeled, and just sort of a sense of time passing and of a woman reclaiming herself.
Her sexuality.
Her independence. Her financial independence.
This book, Burnt Toast.
It is. I would say...
It's philosophy. It's about not taking yourself for granted.
So first of all, let's just
Should we just talk about the cover first?
So first of all, let's talk about the cover. So the cover is she's wearing what I can only describe as ice skating gown.
Yeah, it's baby blue. Is that tulle? Is that what that material is?
So it's gonna go ahead and be pronounced tulle.
Okay. So
your farmer ass being just she got on a tulle dress. She come up to my house in a tulle dress, looking real fine and sexy.
Damn, my girl when she's fretting, and I take her out. I say, put something good on, and she knows I mean tulle.
She knows I want a fine tulle
I ain't
dress.
Fucking her tonight.
She come up in the tulle. I'm about to do something illegal.
My leve is about to get perched when I see her in tulle.
My leve?
My Levi's?
Oh, my leves.
My 501s.
So she's in it.
Also it's short in the front. Long in the back, just like my hair.
Yeah.
Okay, and then
on the front part.
It's burnt toast in script.
Okay, we don't have to get all the way into the font.
I think we should. And then read what it says under it because it's upside down to me.
And actually, that's going to go ahead and not be one of your special talents is reading upside down. That's where you draw the line.
That'll be in my second life.
So it's Burnt Toast and Other Philosophies of Life.
And then we have a simple human trash can. Photo of one.
I want to say it was proto Simple Human. Was Simple Human invented at the time this book came out? I feel like that's more of a late 2000s invention, and this is deeply 2003.
Right. Pre-Simple Human with a circle of toast in gradients of color.
Okay, wow, your graphic design language is jumping out, babe. Do you work in branding?
No, but in my sixth grade yearbook, when it says, what do you want to be when you grow up? I listed a long string of professions, and one of them was graphic design.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
along with swing band leader.
I will tell you this. You still have time to do both.
Thank you.
I could see you really designing flyers for your swing shows.
Yes.
At the Footlight, come through 4:30 Saturday.
Lily and the big trolleys.
Yes, and it's also a pro transit swing. It's a
swing for transit. Bring back our trains.
Bring back our trains. So the grading of the toast is meant to sort of imply. So she's kicking a piece of burnt toast into the trash. And the overarching metaphor of the book is don't eat the burnt toast. And of course, the story that she starts out with is when she was a little kid, she would see her mom burn toast
all the time,
quite regularly, and then
eat it.
And the rest of the family would get the nicely cooked, the golden brown toast.
Right, that golden buttery toast. That's just perfect. When you go to a diner and it's just melts nooks, crannies.
Piece of country
But so many
white.
of mothers think, hey, everyone first. My happiness doesn't matter.
Right. And they spend their whole lives.
So they say, sure, I'll eat this blackened
people.
Piece of toast.
Right.
And day after day, the more burnt toast you eat, the more you don't matter.
Mm-hmm. And the more that you start believing that idea about yourself, that you're not worth it. So this is Teri's sort of treatise on being worth it. But what I think the book really is
it is the blueprint for
of how to be
B-list. Sorry.
No, you say your philosophy, then I'll say my philosophy.
So I think that this book is like the original Bible of B-list culture and life. And I think that sort of warrants explaining what B-list is.
Yes, I say Bible. You're absolutely right. I was just going to add to it. It's also how to be this 90s image of a chica divorcee. It's pre-scandal. It's about, it's pouring the red wine.
Yeah.
It's crying on your bathroom floor.
Right.
It's going on ridiculous blind dates that your girlfriend sets you up on.
Right, because it's like people think Shonda Rhimes invented a big glass of red. But
No.
No. Wait, did Shonda Rhimes create? No, Desperate Housewives is Mark Terry, that huge faggot. Right?
Yeah.
And Shonda Rhimes is...
Obviously, wine has been around for ages.
Wine has been around for ages. So it wasn't invented in 2002.
But the idea of a woman at the end of a long day saying, the only thing I need is wine.
And a nice bath.
Okay.
But... Sorry, just to sort of dive back for 1 second.
It's so hard not to just jump in.
I know. I want to
wine-scented baths.
Absolutely.
Okay, but yeah.
Well, Cleopatra used to...
My grandmother, you mean?
Oh, sorry. Your grandmother...
I'm just making a joke that I'm a descendant of Cleopatra. But
she actually wasn't a very pretty woman.
Exactly. But she had this raw sexuality that people were drawn to, just like my actual
unfiltered
grandmother.
Right. She
Angelina.
wasn't a looker, but damn, was she a slut.
Guys just fucking flocked to her scent.
Absolutely. The pheromones.
I mean, must have been strong back in those days.
Yeah. Terry is not going to have a ton of pheromones. Is that you don't get the pheromone vibe from her?
No, I think her pheromones were destroyed in 97. In the fire of 97.
In her cross-country divorce. So, wait, sorry. So it's just I just want to go back really quickly.
Right.
So the B-list is a term that I know we kind of started using very heavily in high
middle
school.
Yeah.
So the popular girls are going to be the A-list girls. And when Lily and I went to a sort of very preppy middle school in New England.
When we were coming up.
We were coming up and we were nobody. We were these gay kids in the corner. We were wearing our weird little old Navy clothes, looking around and saw, hey, look at these other
Look at these
kids.
A-list.
Look at these A-list girls with the ribbon belts and the fancy cars.
The little polos.
They're sucking dick. They're doing coke.
Right. When you're sucking dick and you're doing coke and you're getting in a Jeep, then you're A-list.
When
the B-list girls are having boyfriends in middle school, but still some of them, half of them are.
Right.
And they're all collecting Jelly Roll pens.
And it's really about having a huge, huge little bag of Jelly Roll pens.
Yes.
And kind of your personality being a pen for most
2
of high
years.
school. And then continuing to high school and just being kind of
Okay. Yeah.
bracelets, absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
They're also wearing flares, but they're going to be Gap, not Sevens.
Right. Okay. We're getting very Pen 15
Anyway,
club now.
Okay, it's very Pen 15. Whatever. People know we were D-list and...
Well, speak
for
yourself.
You were
Listen,
D-list.
I was D-list and I worked
Here's
my
what Stephen worked his ass up.
Yes. And was I still in theater? And that is sort of definitionally C-list in a lot of ways. Yes. And I was doing the musicals and whatnot. And but I was also hanging out with the A-list girls.
Right. And I just left the middle school for a rocker school. So that just took me out of the list.
Yeah. Super rocker, kind of $20,000 a semester rocker school.
The CBGBs, when you write a big check.
Yeah. The C in CBGB stands for check.
I just meant, it was less it was so we don't think about popular. But I'll say this.
You were a mean girl at your high school.
Yeah. I, did that transfer where when you're bullied, even though I was never bullied.
Yeah.
And then you want to be the mean
You were
girl.
B to P, bully to popular? Oh, no, wait.
Yeah.
Bullied to popular.
But then
B to B, bullied to bully.
Enough about us. God, we're so narcissistic.
Sorry, back to Terry. So Terry is the ultimate B-list girl.
She also lives in B-list because she's always striving, as you are as an actress. Being a TV actress inherently is B-list because movie is A-list.
Right.
So you're on.
Although now, golden age of television, that might be changed. But back in 2003, those
talking
original
ABC
delineations
versus
were
Warner Brothers a lot.
Okay.
You know,
back in the studio days, honey. Greta Garbo wouldn't be caught dead on the CBS slot. So that was like that classic dichotomy.
And she's a brunette.
Which is also
So
kind
very
of like inherently
B-list.
A-list obviously being blonde.
Yep. Some A-listers can be brunette, but
Absolutely, but it's got to be quite shiny.
yeah, that shiny Pantene.
Better call the doll,
color.
honey.
And it's just this. She's always so desperate in this book. I think.
And so
which
this book is like a blueprint of how to be neurotic, really. I think in a lot
even
of
the
ways,
whole book is trying to teach you how to not be neurotic.
but she goes on these absolutely psychotic,
spirals,
like pages and pages and pages of spiraling.
whether
where-
she's spiraling about a whale watch or getting her makeup done or doing karaoke or going to someone's birthday party.
it becomes at some points like a full stream of consciousness. So there's this insanely harrowing scene that I was reading the other night as I was kind of going back to this book. She was like, and so this one time I had a call time for Desperate Housewives. And my call time was pushed back by an hour. So I thought, what should I do with this hour? Like, should I take a bath or should I like organize my home office? And then I spent the first 15 minutes deciding whether or not I should take a bath or organize my home office. And so then 15 minutes in, I said, you know what? I will take a bath, but now my bath time is only 45 minutes. And then it's like, and she is describing the spiral in detail of like how not to spiral. And then she goes in, she's like, and now I can't enjoy the bath because like I'm not relaxing. And so she is like being honest and kind of like putting her neuroses out there in this way that I think in some ways kind of predicted the like really, really like navel-gazing, like faux introspective kind of Twitter world that we live in today, where everyone is kind of observing this very performative narcissism of being like, yes, bitch, like I am neurotic, like, yes, I'll
Right, yes, I'm scrolling myself to death.
right.
And I wonder, do you think this book would have even been written if she was like on Twitter in whatever, 99?
I mean, I don't think Teri could handle.
Wouldn't she be like, hello, tweeps?
She would definitely be like, she would definitely be hello tweeps for
And then she would
sure.
spiral and delete. Water is such a big metaphor in this book.
Oh, you think?
Yeah.
Okay, you've done a deeper sort of reading.
Well, I don't know if it's a metaphor. She always, a lot of her fear is water-based. Another spiral she has.
She has a drift line also, though.
And like second time reading this, I feel like the first time reading it, 18-year-old me was, haha, what a 40-year-old freak. And now I kind of see myself
Becoming
I'm
that
not
fully
becoming
neurotic?
No, not that insane, but I get like when she wants to go like cliff jumping and
she goes to the top of the cliff and she waits for an hour and then she still dumps and then the guy's like, I've never seen someone wait that long and still jump.
Exactly. And then she
she's like,
says,
"And I couldn't enjoy the jump."
what would like kill me the most is like knowing I didn't do it. Like knowing that like I feel like, oh, well
Right.
now I'll just have this like guilt if I don't go do this thing or like, like jump off this. Like I could have been there, but then I didn't. And I'm just like, I'm such a fucking loser and like blah,
Right.
blah, blah.
So there's a scene when she is
Which
at
time?
a
The
party.
whales?
I was going to talk about the karaoke.
Oh, yeah.
When she's at this, I don't know if it's like an Oscar after party or something,
no,
where
it's someone's like birthday party.
it's like so random.
and she gets there early.
So Teri. And so she arrives like deeply on time and there's a karaoke party. And there's like a girl running around being like, who wants to do karaoke? And Terry's like, I have this go-to song. I always think these boots are made for walking.
Because she loves Nancy Sinatra. Also, she was so nervous before this party that she calls her gay best friend Miss Gorgeous.
Right. Oh, and he like comes and does her makeup or something for it?
No, he just comes to the party, but she calls him and she goes, please stay on the phone with me so people won't think I'm a loser. And he says to her, which this is advice for anyone, go get a drink at the bar and drink that drink like it's the only thing in the world. And it's like, okay, so it's like, that's also so wild. Like, you're just supposed to get a martini and then just like be like orgasming, like by yourself, being like, fuck yes. Like me and this martini are living as like, and pretending like you're not waiting around.
Right. And
Again,
not just kind of
pre-phones.
staring off into space.
So, right, there's this woman, as you're saying, asking about karaoke.
And so Terry's like, boots were made for walking is my go-to, but she's like equivocating about singing the song. And then some other girl at the party does a rendition of Boots Are Made for Walking. And Terry's like, well, obviously I can't do it now because she took my song. And so I'm not going to do it. And then she fully regrets not having done the song because she could have had this moment to shine and like show everyone she's a good singer. And she goes home and is like full of regret and sadness.
And then she finds out that her fabulous gay friend, Miss Gorgeous, was also afraid the night before to do karaoke. And that's a lesson. Sometimes the people who you think have it all, who have all the confidence, are also scared. So that's a big lesson.
That actually, no, I mean, that's an important thing. I mean, I don't think that Teri ever reads as someone who's like bursting with confidence. Like, I think the reason that she's
Miss
good...
Gorgeous was scared. She was shocked that Miss Gorgeous was nervous to do karaoke because I'm sure. And that scene reminded me so much. I feel like she's so the comeback in that scene.
She is so the comeback.
I feel like the comeback was like based on this book.
I know.
Like about a sitcom actress that's just like spiraling
because she had like a sitcom in the 90s and then gets like a new role where she gets to like celebrate being like an older, like desperate woman.
And in the audition for Desperate Housewives, she said she went in no makeup.
And that's why she got the part.
Yeah.
I mean, she's someone who is not like, she comes off as like vulnerable and needy. And like, that's why I think she really works in that part.
Right.
It feels like very natural for her. There's a part in the book where she's just like, now I'm not like my Desperate Housewives character,
No,
Susan.
that part was insane.
And
It's like you literally are Susan. I mean, I think Susan almost is more together than she is.
Yeah, for sure.
If anyone hasn't watched Desperate Housewives, her character on it is like kind of a Lorelai type, like single mom who's kind of like more best friends with her daughter, dates this like hot construction worker.
And you watched all 23 seasons?
23 seasons. And for some reason, still when I bought the used trivia game for Desperate Housewives, I had a lot of trouble answering the questions. They were wicked hard.
Sometimes like TV trivia games like are so weirdly specific in this way where it's like, it's not about whether you love the show. It's just like, so like on what floor did like Susan's neighbor like
see her kiss Tom?
And it's like, what floor of the house was she on or something? Or it's like that Sex and the City game we bought once that was just like the apartment number of like someone's house she went to one time. Crazy. And you're like, I don't know.
I want to talk a little bit about the whale watching.
Okay.
And maybe some of her trips.
Yes.
So all of her trips start with a couple of my girlfriends and I.
Which is defining like 40s wine divorcee, like pre-wine mom pillow culture of just like, but first wine.
Right. Is preceded by a couple of girlfriends.
Yes.
And my
like
girlfriends and I went out.
Yeah. Let me just say this.
Let me just say this.
I feel like she is so Amtrak magazine in the way that
she my God,
talks about
it. Because she's like, we went up Route 34 and stopped by this winery. And those things in Amtrak magazine where you're like, it's not an ad, but it's not an article.
It's not an ad, but it's not an article.
It's all sponsored articles.
It's all sponsored. Like, it's that weird way. It's like where like Google will describe a restaurant. She'll be like, we got some cheap eats from a small town diner. And I'm like, what, Teri? Like,
which brings us to her dream is to open up a diner in Missoula, Montana. And also she takes this like really stressful sounding cross-country road trip with her ex-husband when they move from LA to New York. And it is also Amtrak. And she's like, we stopped in St. Louis for their iconic ribs. They're with a newborn and like they're fighting so much. And you're like, this is how marriages get ruined. They like go to some fried chicken place and are late and they're banging on the door.
Because she's always kind of being so like randomly poor. And it's just like, aren't you like on TV so much?
Well, yeah, there's a scene where all these biker gangs have like sold out all the hotels on this road trip. So they at like this 7-Eleven manager's house, and she's like, I'm clutching my baby on the floor as we hear a horror movie play in the background. And you're like, what is this crazy scene? She's like, we bolted and left $50 on the desk. And then they got like iconic ribs or whatever, like in another state. And then they get okay, here's my question. They moved to New York and they live in Manhattan.
Right. Oh, West Village, right?
I'm assuming West Village, please.
We're just being so Monica Lewinsky and thinking that it's West Village.
It has to be Westville unless it was so random and Upper East.
It could be random.
And when she gets there, she's like, I knew nothing. And she's like, finally, this woman told me where a drugstore and a fruit stand was. Right. And it's like, I don't know. The entire city is Duane Reade. So like, why are you?
Okay. Well, Lily, this was in like 1997. So there wasn't CVS's in every corner.
But there still were a lot of
No, I know.
Reades.
Bodegas,
and
delis,
fruit
stands. It is
I'm not
very
saying
like...
Our city now is much more like a one big
Yeah, it's a fucking suburb. It's
Right.
a fucking strip mall.
But I don't think she got to the West Village and was just like, where's the Dwayne Reed?
But what does it say? It's like her first inclination is to be like, I felt helpless.
Exactly.
I actually,
You can go anywhere and feel helpless.
I was kind of having this feeling just now that in some ways Teri Hatcher is like a less type A Deborah Messing. Like take Teri Hatcher and then add in like a ton of more like type A and she would become Deborah Messing, who is like
Also a divorced woman in her 40s who gets drinks with her girlfriends.
yes, but is like actually like way more crazy and like more of a hillbot and like doing Zyrtec ads and like, but it like when you like Terry's dream is to open up a diner, like how Deborah Messing's dream is to be the assistant jewelry editor for a national
like a magazine. Right. Deborah Messing is a little more like I am NYC.
Yeah.
And I think Teri Hatcher is a little more Route 66.
Yes. Cheryl.
Yeah. She's Cheryl, Deborah Messing,
Cheryl
Laura
Crow
Jones.
for listeners who weren't
Yeah.
getting not that you wouldn't, but yeah. When we say Cheryl, we mean
And I
Crow.
feel like they're both these women that are like, I am not going to shit talk my ex-husband because I am a mom first.
And that relationship is more important than the pettiness. And I will put the pettiness behind me.
And even though I was extremely hurt and rock bottom after my divorce,
I was absolutely ravaged by that divorce.
I couldn't eat.
It broke me.
I couldn't sleep.
But I will not say anything bad about my ex-husband.
But I came to set every day at 7 a.m.
And he is a decent father.
And that's how I feel about my ex-husband.
And both of you show up to set.
Right? We do. And we put that behind us.
Absolutely. And you raise her adopted child.
Do you think her ex-husband, he probably didn't read this.
Huh. I mean, she's so... Okay. She also does this thing where it's just like...
Oh, the parentheses?
Oh, well, I was just going to say, I'm just playing like, who's the ex-husband? It's like...
John. And she refers
it's
to
so
how
vague.
he's like a theater guy. I bet he's like a playwright or something.
Oh, you think he's that much of a faggot?
Yeah, I think he's like in Something's Gotta Give, Diane Keaton's husband.
He's that...
Is a
I
playwright.
feel like he's more of a
Oh, no,
camera
she's a
guy, and
play-
it's more like Julia Roberts, like Danny Motor vibe.
She mentions in the book something about like theater in his world, unless he's like a dramaturg. We'll figure that out later.
Celebrity Book Club.
To go to kind of like also how this book is written, of course, why we love it, kind of in the same way of the Leah Remini, is like she's always talking to the reader and then is talking back to herself.
Yes.
And the reader in parentheses.
And then in parentheses, and it's just like, okay, so you and me are on our deathbeds together.
And then she's like, there's wine everywhere. Oh, yeah, you're in a mansion. And then it'll be another
and
parentheses.
just be
being
like, hey, it's my fantasy. Why not? Like, okay, you actually need to calm down.
It's always like, well, if we're in Fantasyland.
Also, I don't know if you remember this detail she glosses over very quickly, where she mentions that her mom was a defense contractor.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Yeah.
And her dad was just like an engineer.
And
But
you're
she's
just
still always like, we were dirt poor.
Right, and you're like,
And they grew up in the Depression.
I know, I'm just like,
You're like,
hey, how old are you?
right.
Okay, oh yeah, there was another parenthesis that I just wrote down where she just goes, did I just say horny? And
Oh,
the
I did.
she's like,
She
it's
goes-
my book. I can say whatever I want.
And then after the horn, she's like, okay, we're doing this.
So Teri is also someone who like has sex once every 5 years.
But she talks a lot about losing her sexuality in her marriage and trying to get it back. I feel like the
that's so
time, and then she
depressing.
talks about this time she like she takes like a stripping class to like get in touch with her sexuality.
Just, like, full
So the 90s
blueprint
lived
for
like,
like
a
90s like woman in her 40s reclaiming
When strip
her
cardio,
post-divorce
like, became a thing.
independence.
Don't you imagine when she has sex with this guy that she describes and then the subsequent spiral after that? And she was like, I have the best sex with men I trust.
Same.
And she's like, I'm talking mind blowing, earth shattering.
It's like, you know,
it's also
the most,
Cosmo.
like-
I feel like it's so 90s.
It's like
on
cowgirl,
top.
like woman on top.
Yes,
It's so woman on top.
And then they're both at the end just being like,
And that to her is like,
I need a cigarette.
yes, and you roll over. Like that
you're
to
like,
her is like crazy sex when it's like
So, like,
women on top. And it's like, bra off.
Right. It's not Carrie bra on.
Right.
I feel, and then she probably had the same reaction when Diane Lane in Under the Tuscan Sun has sex for the first time and just starts like screaming on her bed in linen.
And the fountain starts like running
Yeah.
again, and it's a metaphor.
The sad thing about that amazing cowgirl sex she had is the next day, she went completely, utterly psycho.
Wait, remind me what happened?
She wouldn't like even start a faucet because she didn't want to miss hearing the phone call. She was like, so yeah, I just started to kind of do stuff around the house, but I wouldn't take a shower because then I might miss the phone call. And it's like, so you're just
I just got chills.
to not make a peep, not make a sound.
I mean, it's interesting in the land before before cell phones,
Yep.
when you really needed to hear the landline.
But voicemail.
Right.
How portable phone is she?
Oh, like
Can't you
huge
see?
portable phone
Huge
with an
portable phone
antenna.
talking to her girlfriends. Hey, I want to keep this quick because he might call back soon.
But I think, again, it's like it's a great blueprint for also knowing how to not be crazy.
Right. It's to say, hey, take a shower. And she's trying to tell you,
Right.
take that shower in this book.
But the thing is, she can't ever stop in one place long enough to like be comfortable in that idea. She has to then go to the next thing and be like, do take the shower, go ahead and take the shower. And while you're taking the shower, like think about like what you can do like for your daughter, or like what you can do for yourself to make yourself feel good and not think about your daughter later. And it's just
Right.
like, there's always like another level of just like,
it's another lesson. I feel like there's also so many times she spirals. She's trying to fit in all of this evidence.
But I think it's like, it's this weird way of you are telling yourself to like forgive yourself and like make time for yourself and like not worry about other things. But the process of like telling yourself that becomes its own worry spiral.
Its own spiral.
And the real lesson is it's like, you know, you can't tell yourself not to think about something. It's kind of a mathematical
Well, I
impossibility.
don't know. I mean, that is true. But I think she is like trying in her spiral to tell you all the times.
And ultimately,
You know?
I'm so grateful for her for like
Yeah.
being vulnerable and opening up in that way. And
You know, she says, I get in the shower. And my instinct is to reorganize the medicine cabinet.
Right.
And Emerson, her
Right.
daughter Emerson.
Emerson
is-
Rose.
Sorry, Emerson Rose, who's now like a zine artist, who's now
Really?
like 18. Yeah, remember our good friend, Sam Buck-Rosen,
Go on.
saw Teri and her daughter at a zine fair.
Right.
And the Emerson was selling her zines. And Teri was fucking right there.
Wow. Good for her.
Fuck yeah. We should review.
We should review. We run for zines.
Yeah,
we could
run
definitely
for
do an hour on an
zines,
Emerson
yeah.
Rose zine.
Another point about her sexuality fear, post-divorce, she takes a strip class and then she does the vagina monologues and they want her to like wear like a soft baseball hat that says cunt on it. And she like can't even wear
She
it,
literally can't wear it.
even though she's like doing the whole like mirror to my vagina, like
Right.
exploring thing and having this cowgirl sex.
But
She's
that
like,
word is just a
it's-
hair too far.
Yeah,
for her.
too far. And now I'm thinking, she's so soft baseball hat. She's so LA.
I mean, everyone's so soft baseball hat now, though.
I guess that.
That's just like a diamond square, like you have a hat. But
Well, I'm saying more like she's LA. soft
she's the
baseball.
original like,
Yes.
producer soft baseball hat. She is also the celebrity thing, though, where you like get gifts for people just like as a thank you. And so like getting gifts for the crew, and like when she sent like coffee cake to like the whole like audition staff or whatever at ABC because she had to like can't like postpone her callback or something because she was like
Yeah.
having such a moment, and then it turned out to be a lesson. Like, you know what, if you are having a breakdown, like do postpone the callback and do ask your agent to like
And that brings up the point of culinary.
go on.
I want to talk about California Pizza Kitchen.
Okay. Yeah.
She's always getting California
Yep.
Pizza Kitchen for her and Emerson. And she makes the reader know Emerson's choice, not mine.
Right.
But CPK as this, I just love CPK as this mother-daughter.
It's so
thing to get.
because there's something that's kind of like, well, it's indulgent enough that like the daughter feels like she's getting this treat. I mean, it's very, to me, it reminds me of when my nanny and I, we would get Bertucci's when I was a
Yeah.
kid, and I would fake being,
Sick.
fake having a stomachache, so I would go home by 1 p.m. to watch Days of Our Lives with my.
And then, of course, Bertucci's will fix that.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then it was always just like, oh, and now my reward for faking sick was like ordering pizza.
So fun.
And it was like me and my nanny. But there is.
Bertucci's is a
Massachusetts-based pizza chain.
That's a little more upscale. Wood-fired.
I actually think it's very CPK ultimately, though.
It is, but like that's what I'm saying. CPK is an upscale chain.
Right.
And so is Bertucci's.
Yeah, no, you said... I thought you were saying Bertucci's was more upscale
Oh,
than
no,
CPK.
They're the same level. But I'm saying like they're being like...
Okay, sorry. I just want to make sure that we're on the same page.
No, we're absolutely on the same
about
page.
the level.
Yeah. Basically, but it's this treat, but it's also like teaching your daughter, like, we're not just getting any old slice of Joe.
Mm-hmm.
You're getting arugula on your pizza and you're 11.
Right.
But
Also, the infamous turkey roll-ups, where she and Emerson will have turkey without bread, and it's just like they just roll turkey into a cylinder, and like that's their kind of no-carb treat that they have
and
together.
they do it around lettuce, which I famously made a video, me as Teri doing the turkey roll-ups
When did you do this?
in college. Me as Teri, like doing turkey
Was
roll-ups.
this one of your like Super 8? Like,
No, this was gonna go ahead and be shot on digital.
wow.
Yeah.
Okay, and that was actually going to go ahead and be one of the first digital pieces that
I
was
was
made.
doing. Me as Teri spiraling, crying voiceover of the book. And now here we are, and I'm still making work based off
Terry. 15 years later, I haven't read another book.
I also saw so much of my mother within the cooking field of this book, where she takes on these like huge cooking projects, like at her most stressed.
The Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
With the scalloped
potatoes. Her and her father are making potatoes, and it's this whole like, oh, it's supposed to be like a bonding experience. But the dad gets so fed up making the potatoes, and it's like, what was she screaming at him with the potatoes? So then she finishes it.
Because the dad leaves the house.
He literally leaves because he can't handle it. And so you know.
And the lesson that she takes away from that is, so I don't know what to do. So I took the like half scalloped potatoes, put them in a blender, added milk. They ended up being the best mashed potatoes
Of
anyone
my
had
life.
ever
So
had.
like, hey, mistakes in the kitchen, like experiment. And it's like,
And you're like, wait, what?
wouldn't the lesson be like, maybe don't like scream at your like father?
Right, and like take on this like insanely complicated like 18-course meal when you're like so
and then
stressed
another
and
time
hosting.
she's like, I'm gonna make a goose for Christmas, like right after she had her daughter, which is so like, oh great, I haven't slept in 8 weeks, let me pick up a goose.
It is very.
And my
there
mom
is-
once,
yeah.
she made this paella. And she was like having all these people over, and it's like, you know, you want to impress, and like the paella, you're cooking all this different seafood,
Yeah,
and
quite
everyone's
a lot.
waiting, and it's, you know, hey, maybe, and this is, you know, maybe take a more Ina Garten approach, and that's why Ina Garten is so popular.
Because she was, you know, what could be easier? You know,
Yeah.
do meatballs, pasta, comfort food. I really do think, yeah, it's about like, I think there is, because I feel it too when I entertain, and it's
Right,
like
you want to show off.
You want to show off, and you want people to feel welcomed, and you know, effort is like a signal that you care about
Shows
people.
love.
But think
you don't want to be trapped in the
you
kitchen.
don't want to be trapped, and you don't want to put this pressure on yourself to perform, because then it's impossible to live up to the expectations you're setting.
And then you're not having fun. You're just worried about your goose. And then your friends feel tense.
Right.
Because they see you sweating over a goose.
Right. And the goose becomes a spiral. And I think
Who's craving goose in the end?
Well, have you had a perfectly cooked goose?
I actually haven't.
Okay, well, you should come to our Christmas dinner sometimes.
I would love
My
to.
mother has made goose in the past, and let me
She
tell
has.
you, she's on a goose.
I've always wondered about goose. When I would buy my Christmas tree, we go to this farm.
It's very gamey.
Yeah, it's gamey, but it's kind of like dak meat, right?
Kinda dak, kinda
meat.
like
a little
venison.
dak. Oh,
It's got a bit of a venison vibe.
does it? Deer and goose, I think. Go ahead and disagree. Yeah, I think it's a little ducky. Quack, 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 okay?
It's closer to cousin quackers. But I really think the lesson is be more Gwyneth and just be like grilled bread. And you know what I mean? Do like one thing like nicely that's like very easy.
And
it's
then
like
buy
grilled
some
bread
pistachios and
buy some
cheese.
spreads. And then it's like everyone's
Or
not
Ina
seeing you.
scotch and soda.
Right. You're not
Let
having
people-
to
yeah.
labor and, you know, and then
Make a punch,
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
And on that goose day, this also I feel like is kind of so me. She goes to Bed Bath & Beyond, and some woman gets really mad at her.
Okay, I'm sorry. Teri is so Bed Bath & Beyond. Like, she is like
20%
her like
off.
color palette is Bed Bath &
This
Beyond.
blue
this book, the
tulle?
blue tulle and like the
Bed
baby
Bath & Beyond.
blue and white and like clear plastic bins. Like I feel like her whole life is so Bed Bath &
She's
Beyond.
very bin, like my sister, I feel like.
bin and labeled bins. Oh my God. Okay.
Labeled.
I'm now having this flashback to going to my cousin's apartment once in the Valley, and she has all her shoes labeled in different Tupperware, like plastic bins. And like there was one that was like, fuck me pumps. And it's like, you're not wearing those fuck me pumps enough
When
if
are
they're
you
in a bin labeled fuck me pumps.
Fuck me pumps should not be in a bin.
They really shouldn't. Like if you're labeling your fuck me pumps, like you are not getting fucked in your pumps enough.
And that would be so like a Teri parentheses, just like, when was the last time I wore you guys?
Right.
The Reagan administration?
But then she'd be like, but you know what? I'm holding on to them because who says you can't have hope? Like she would weirdly take kind of the wrong lesson that like felt empowering, but it's still actually just like very, very tense.
And sometimes she has these moments, and you're so happy for her, when she goes to Napa with her girlfriends. And in
the hot tub.
Yeah, in a combined, she got all these gift certificates from the Emmys.
They all have like it's so Real Housewives trip where they all have separate rooms and, like,
that are
separate
adjoined. I
hot
know.
tubs and like facing balconies.
She's like, we all each had a hot tub to our room, and it's like, so 8 of you each had a hot tub. I mean, it must have been a pretty sweet. I mean, it's an Emmy gift basket, so. And her friends, this is so
you know
fun.
all about those.
Look, I've seen an Oscar gift basket once in middle school.
Oh, because of Errol?
Yep. Good stuff in those, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I've seen one live. Her friends, this is so fun of her, and something that she was really not stressed about, that like her friends weren't all friends from college. They were like all friends separately. So she was like the core.
Oh, and she was worried about whether
She
the
actually
different groups-
wasn't worried that they would like all get along.
Oh.
Which is kind of a shock. She was like, yeah, like I was the center of attention. And like, you know, we weren't all school chums.
So insane, because to me, that is like my first thought when assembling a group of people, especially for a weekend trip.
Yeah.
It's always the commentary. It's always like, how is this
How is
different
this gonna
group of
work?
people going to work? And will this person be a weird addition? And like, will those two people like be a weird combo? And like,
Right. What if they're left alone at the car rental place? Like, what's
Right.
going to happen?
Right.
We had a lot of discussions of that over your birthday Key West trip.
yes, that
And ultimately it went very well.
It went very well. And that chemistry totally made
Yeah.
sense.
Okay, I want to play a little game with you.
Go the fuck off. I'm obsessed with games. I'm kind of a gamer.
I play games.
You're naughty.
Yeah.
What's the game?
I want-
It's Terry related.
It's a Teri game. I want you to read the first sentence of 5 random paragraphs throughout the book.
Okay. Throughout the book.
Yeah.
When I explain the tabloids to Emerson, I say, I guess they just want to know that we're like them. Oh, God, she's so insane. Having a child makes it easier to see and admit these failings. Getting older doesn't just change your body.
Hell yes.
How did I wind up here? Well, where is here? And here is yes in quotes.
Yeah. Where is here?
Okay, and I can't find it, but I'm just going to say one that I remember.
Okay.
We live in a microwave society.
And you can't make goose in a microwave.
You absolutely cannot.
No.
Everyone wants everything so quickly. But
right.
sometimes
Everything now. You
have
gotta
to
wait.
Slow down. Add milk to the potatoes.
I saw an amazing quote from this email I got from Afterpay, which is a layaway service.
Okay.
And the quote was, success only comes before work in the dictionary.
Was it this mangled quote from this? Brought to you by Layaway.
Brought to you by Layaway.
And just so our audience can know, what did you purchase using Afterpay?
Purchased a bed frame with Afterpay on Wayfair.com.
Cool.
It was delivered a little scratched, and I got $300 off.
And so the
200. So actually, $200 off. It was $300
total. That
Total.
you're paying in several installments.
several installments of $100 a month.
Okay, so after 3 months, you will own your bed outright.
I'm gonna own my bed this month. Yeah, outright.
Very cool.
Mine, all mine. 100%.
Big girl.
Big girl in a small city.
When you own a bed.
You can do anything.
So the very end of this book.
Well, sorry, right before we get to the end of the book,
Go on.
I want to give everyone one of Teri's tips.
Go on.
And this is something you can do at home. No one has to see it. Write fuck 'em on your toes. F-U-C-K, 1 foot. Next foot, E-M.
Do you do the apostrophe? I forget how she writes.
I don't do the apostrophe because obviously I do this on my toes.
And she
about
did
once a week.
this famously in response to a review of her like performance in Cabaret.
Right.
When
That
she
got
was
panned.
absolutely panned. But you know what? It had a very successful 4-month run in Los Angeles.
Excuse me, and she won an Obie and nom.
when you win a nom.
But you get panned, you still write fuck 'em on your toes. And
Right.
that's just to remind yourself.
Yeah.
All these people with their little opinions.
Right.
Doesn't matter.
Sitting away, Mr. Armchair Critic. It's so easy to come to a show, sit down with your little notepad and say,
Your little pen.
weak character.
You try get up on stage
Yeah,
and sing
thank
in
you.
cabaret every single night.
I mean, the fact
And
of the
being
matter.
a single mom.
Thank you.
Putting on your mom hat,
Right. And then putting on your top hat.
your top hat. Then for your boyfriend, putting on your sexy hat or according to-
lingerie.
or she says, or beret, whatever you're into.
That's as far as a fetish goes in Teri's head is like French.
French, yeah. And she's like, I'm going to be French and I'm going to like pretend to smoke for a guy.
French on top.
Ah, s'il vous plaît.
Oui, oui.
Oui. Right. And also, it's like she's not even doing French maid. She's just doing generally French.
Just general French.
Fully clothed winter French.
I mean, I feel like that's a lot of like Ridgewood straight girls are kind of like
doing French.
doing French in bed, probably.
Sure.
Just being like,
Ah, oui, baguette.
oui, baguette. Baguette.
Let me see your baguette.
So just really quickly, the book ends. Can I just read a passage?
Please.
Okay. But part of what I let go in Africa is gone forever. The release was so powerful that the memory of that feeling has become something I can use to ground myself, sort of like a mantra. I think of Africa, a place which was, is, and will always be bigger and stronger than I am.
She's like, was.
Right, yeah.
Africa was bigger.
Africa was,
now
is,
that I won
and
my
will
Golden
be.
Globe, I'm actually bigger and stronger than Africa.
Well, no, she's going to go ahead and say that
Yeah,
it was, is, and will be.
Yes.
Like, Africa is quite historic.
Yet it is quite a large continent as well.
And there's comfort in that. I'm not free-floating and alone. Africa is big enough to contain me and all my emotional litter. And so I urge you to look for the place or book or being that can do the same for you. Do the daily work. Make the small changes. Follow your chosen path. And when the time is right, you'll find your Africa.
Fuck yes.
I mean, I couldn't have said it better myself.
No, that's what I say to all of my mentees.
There, at the end of a long day, draw yourself a bath, and one day
Find your Africa. No,
in your-
first, when you
Do the
before
work.
drawing yourself a bath, put in your leftover wine because you had dinner for one.
right, and you had a bottle of wine for one,
And you
then
didn't
you get
finish it
stressed
all,
about just a bottle
and
of
then
wine
it turns
because
into
it's gonna be good for
vinegar.
later.
I hate wasting.
So what do? Well, you can't
Pour-
invite someone over. It's already 9:30 p.m. Pour it into the bathtub.
Pour into the bath, and then you have a sexy wine-scented bath.
And actually, the antioxidants are really good for your skin and promote
Exfoliate.
anti-aging.
Cell growth.
Resveratrol is that chemical.
Then think about a trip you took to Africa.
And realize
Africa is still with you.
it's bigger than you.
Yeah.
It can contain
All of your
you.
litter.
So much litter.
So
The
much.
detritus of divorce.
So colonial of her.
You know,
She just littered all of her baggage
She-
all
she
over
lit-
Africa.
Taylor Swift went to Africa, shot a video, left her bullshit there, and
Right?
came
And
back.
Teri Hatcher
renewed.
left all of her spirals there, but took some back in her, away luggage.
Right. I like to think of a sort of a poacher falling into one of Teri's emotional traps. Serves him right.
Teri gets poached. They sell
Terry horns on the black market.
Teri Hatcher wigs, Teri Hatcher bags.
Known for their medicinal qualities.
Those wine exfoliants.
And they just make you completely insane.
Yeah. Segment 5.
Segment 5. What does she eat? What does she wear? How does she live? Okay, so Teri, I think food-wise, she's obviously not a culinarista, but...
Well, no, but she is a little bit. She is down to open up Julia Child and take on a big project.
But it doesn't come from a place of like loving food or like being this like foodie
it comes
explorer.
From stress. Yes.
Like it comes from stress and wanting to like do the thing that like will impress people or like do the thing that she could challenge herself.
Oh, for sure.
Do.
I'm just saying some people put their stress in other projects. And as someone, that's where she goes. She does go to the culinary arts with her stress.
Right.
So I'm just saying, she's ready to take on a goose. She's ready to take on a scalloped potato. She's teaching Emerson how to make couscous.
Absolutely not being like, we discovered this new hole in the wall type
No,
place.
hello,
like,
she is. She made her entire road trip with her ex-husband to like go to like Guy Fieri diners, dives, and eats to go get ribs.
But it was like
she wants to open up a diner in Montana just because it's all stress.
But it's coming from a place of like stress and management. It's not coming from a place of like where she actually just like is loving flavors.
I think that can come from both, and I'm going to stand for her passion for cuisine. I think
think that you are making assumptions about her palate that you have absolutely no basis to be making, my friend. I'm sorry.
I actually think you are taking away some of the funness that is in her life. She's going on wine trips. She's tasting ribs. Yes, she is this spiraling woman. Hello, it's so a spiraling person to like pride themselves on finding a hole in the wall.
I guess I feel like Teri's the kind of person.
No one's saying that she's not a crazy spiraler.
Okay.
I'm just saying, let's give her.
Do you mind if I just say something?
Give her dues.
Can I just say something super quickly?
Okay.
Do you mind?
Go.
I feel like she's the kind of person who is having the breakfast at the Westin. And it is such a hotel breakfast. And it's like so like overcooked eggs and like one cherry tomato. And she is she's just being like, this is lovely. You know, I don't think that she's having such a nuanced review of the Westin breakfast. And that's what I say that I don't think that she is like loving and enjoying food for the sake of the flavors that come with
Let me counterpoint
being a foodie. Counter on.
She's not getting to the Westin breakfast and
I don't think she's raving about it.
I think it's a different vibe. She's getting there and she's saying, I got to the hotel buffet at 9:59. It ended at 10. So I loaded up on croissants, piled some eggs in a plate and gave them to Emerson.
I felt guilty because I ate too much and I knew it was going to be full. And so I put some of the croissants in a bag for later to keep for Emerson because she would have a snack so she wouldn't get hungry. We're on a long drive from Los Alamitos.
Then I had to go to set and then we binged on Del Taco at 5.
Right. And sometimes you have to binge on Del Taco, and I'm not going to feel bad about
it. That's all I'm saying is that
But I think that what the point you're making proves the point. I think these things are not in conflict.
Yeah, I don't think we're really disagreeing. I'm just saying all I want you to say is I think
I'm not saying
she doesn't
like let herself go and like enjoy Del Taco.
Yeah.
I just don't think that she's a real flavor hound.
I think she wants to be.
Let's move on.
Okay.
Okay, what does she wear?
I mean, let's flip to this back page.
She is the most Kohl's person alive.
It's flares, it's tight sweaters, it's seamless leather jackets, and
also,
it's soft baseball
I don't
hat.
think her style has evolved since 2004.
No.
Absolutely not. The seamless leather jackets,
Yeah.
the diagonal zippers, like a cowl neck, like long sleeve top that's like really thin.
Mm-hmm. It's thin, tight sweaters. I think it's what she's wearing on Desperate Housewives all the time.
Yep.
And it's throw your hair in a ponytail. It's makeup. It's no makeup.
Sevens.
Yeah, she's not wearing Kohl's. She's wearing Sevens. She's getting expensive denim.
It's Bloomingdale's quality Kohl's.
And she's always like, I threw in a white t-shirt, but that white t-shirt is like threadbare.
I don't know if it's so threadbare.
It's thin. She's a scentista for sure.
You think she has a dresser with like
Tons.
14 different scents. Yep.
Do you think she has like a classic? Is she just like
and
a
there's
Coco
a Calvin Klein, there's a
Chanel?
DKNY,
Right.
there's a Chanel, there's all of the
She's
above.
going through the sense, and she's
I wonder
getting
if she's
gifts
also kind of my
for
mom and a little
scents.
bit Lancome and being so old woman about it.
Oh, I think she's a little more DKNY, but I bet there's a Lancome surfacing on the dresser.
The Lancome
Meets
surfaces.
the Coco.
Yeah, no, I think she's definitely perfumed. Do you think she's like embarrassed by like a shapely perfume bottle?
I could also see her like putting on a boyfriend's cologne and being like, "This is so sketchy," but I put on my boyfriend's cologne.
She did it once, and
Yeah,
then
she did it once.
and then for 2 years she was like, and sometimes you have to put on your boyfriend's cologne.
Right, and just like, sorry, do I smell so weird? I put on his cologne.
But then I told myself, you know what?
Fuck
him.
him.
Okay. And
How
then,
does she live?
How does she live? As we said, bins for days.
It's bins for days. It's tables piled high with scripts. And I think it's California country.
Yeah, absolutely California country.
It's white.
It's
comfy,
white. It's cream. It's
sectional.
like gray carpet, sectionals,
Big rugs.
It's not the heaviest furniture you've ever seen,
No,
but
but it's medium.
It's medium heavy for sure. Japandi, it is not.
No, it's a big couch for her and Emerson to sit down, lounge, popcorn.
Yeah,
She's spilling red wine on the couch.
We're a popcorn house.
Right. Get the popcorn going.
And she definitely has like a ceramic jar on the kitchen counter that has like popcorn kernels to like make popcorn yourself to do homemade.
Yeah.
It's not like so, but she also has like, I'm sure there's a full cabinet full of Orville like microwave popcorn too. We
And
live in
I
a microwave
think-
society.
Big light granite island.
Oh my God. It defines
White
like granite.
cabinets.
Yeah.
Huge bowl of fruit.
Yes. Huge
And
bowl of
I think
fresh
she
fruit.
has stemless and stem glasses, but I think she usually uses the stems and is like, don't eat the burnt toast.
Huh.
I'm using the stems. Do you disagree?
I do disagree because I think that she's a little bit worried
That she's going to spill.
that she's
and-
gonna spill, and I think it feels a little bit too dramatic and celebratory to have a stem when she's alone. She grabs the stemless.
So we think she does both.
I think you're absolutely right that she goes back and forth and she has both.
Okay. $3.65 for Trader Joe's. Or is she like, we don't really know LA grocery stores more. She's
yeah,
like
I've actually spent a
Gelson's.
lot of time in
You
Los
hail
Angeles
from there.
and I think that she is a Gelson's girl, and she's also going to Whole Foods. Like, I don't
Right,
think
she's going to Whole
She
Foods
still
and
just like
stuff.
has money. She's not like going to 365 and like bargain hunting for flour.
I don't know. I guess I'm like, I just see a bunch of like 365 like Israeli couscous in her cabinet.
Well, she's grabbing those from
The
Whole
produce,
Foods,
right,
but she's
but
not
she's-
going to the 365 store.
No.
Which I don't even know. Were you referencing that? Because there is a 365 store in LA.
I know there is.
Okay,
now.
cool.
Yeah.
Really quickly, I think the last part of the segment that we need to do.
Yeah, is
Who
what-
are you in the book?
Okay. Who are you in the book? Well, I think you're Miss Gorgeous.
I'm her one gay friend.
Yeah.
That's a little easy, don't you think?
Absolutely.
You don't think I'm Val?
I was going to say I'm Val.
I think you're that weird friend who lives across the apartment complex from her, who she like goes to Las
Oh,
Vegas
I'm
with.
Ned.
You're Ned.
Oh, I'm Ned. And like,
And they
Ned's
go
now
on that one trip to Vegas where she like gets so mad at him. They like spontaneously go to Vegas because tickets are only $60, and then they like get in this huge fight because they can't find a hotel room. Like once again, it was
and also, like,
another
obviously,
biker
Ned
convention
has been like
was in town.
eternally friend zoned by
He's
Terry.
been friend zoned so hard forever, which is so you and me, and you're always trying to fuck, and I'm always being like,
Right,
Lily,
like,
it's not
calm down.
happening.
And then he like just moves to New Jersey and gets married and like has a working fridge and two
And
kids.
it's like, Tara, you should have fucked
Fucked Ned.
and nailed it down.
You probably would have been happy and he would have
right, and
treated
he would have
you
literally
right.
treated you like a queen, honey.
She talks about how much she lost her sexuality. Okay, I'm Ned, you're Val.
Yeah. Friends.
Friends, we're friends.
Or in many ways.
Or are you in many ways Emerson?
I'm selling my zines. I don't know. Your fucking punk ass is selling your
I'm
zines.
Emerson.
Your weird collage art.
I'm Emerson meets Ned.
Right.
Ned Rising, Emerson Moon. Emerson Moon, Ned Rising. I don't know.
mean, in a lot of ways, I'm Terry.
Right. Oh, yeah. Actually, yeah.
And I have been absolutely freaking out for the past 31 years.
You are on the bathroom floor
Sobbing.
crying.
Reorganized our medicine cabinet.
Sobbing.
I mean, yeah, when I...
You're making the potatoes and maybe throwing them out and then ordering Chinese.
I'm definitely like 5 minutes before like my friends are coming over, I'm like screaming at my boyfriend to just be like, make the cheese board.
Or now. And just like, what the fuck are you doing making melted brie? Right. So, okay, yeah, you're Teri. Yeah. I'm Ned. So you owe me that limo ride.
You still owe me that limo ride. Well, that seems like a fun note to end on.
Yeah.
Next week's book is none other than
songwriter, rock and roll artist, and controversial member of our world,
Sinead O'Connor.
And her book,
Rememberings. She is an iconic protester, activist,
storyteller, singer,
and now a Muslim. And did we read her book?
Damn, we read.
Y'all not gonna want to miss this one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Best. See you soon. Best regards.
All the best.
Bye. Celebrity Book Club is presented by Prologue Project, which is so cool, and HeadGum, which I just have to pinch myself that's happening. The show is produced by Meg Murnane, who I called last week 3 times, and she didn't call me back yet, but I'm sure she's super busy, and everyone's really busy, and the summer's crazy. We also have editorial support from Leon Nafok, who I had a really fun coffee with a couple months ago, and I think we could be friends. I could see us being friends. Andrew Parsons is also super nice, and I know he's married and has a lot of kids. But I think we're probably going to get together over the 4th, so that's going to be fun. And Madeline Kaplan, who she has amazing style, and she was wearing this dress, and I said, "Where'd you get that dress?" And then she said, "I don't think that we've met." And I was, "Oh, okay," but she's really fun. Our production manager is Persia Berlin, and I feel so bad because I said her name wrong the last time, and I told her I'm not going to do it again. And I think I nailed it. Persia, if I didn't, you have my permission to have my head on a platter. Engineering by Ferris Monchi. I don't know how these guys do it. I mean, they are so, no, I mean, put me in front of one of those things, and they probably fire me right there. The whole thing will go down in flames. Original theme song by Steve Phillips Horst. He actually did die, and that was something that was really, really, it was really sad for everybody on the crew. And I sent his partner some muffins from this amazing bakery that I found actually while my mother was going through a cancer scare. Artwork by Teddy Blanks at Chips NY. What a nice guy, and just, I mean, really, 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 really salt of the earth. Follow us on Twitter at CBC the Pod. I'm not there yet, but trust me, I'm gonna get there. Emily she's getting me. She's getting me on that. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm gonna get on the internet. Subscribe on your favorite podcast app. Leave us a review, and please tell your friends about us. I know everyone says that, but it actually really, really, really does matter, and it would make us so happy. So I can't wait to see you guys soon, and please come over. I'm doing a fun little reading group, kind of tapas clothing swap thing at my house, and that's my house in Glendale. So just when come. It's on Sunday. It's a 4. Everyone's invited. Bring your part. Bring whoever. Bring anyone. Bring your dog.
That was a HeadGum podcast.